This is Valerie on the Tom Leykis Show. It's haters only this hour. Hello.
Tom Leykis, I have one question to ask you.
Yes, dear.
Okay. You're always talking about how guys should get laid.
Yes.
Shouldn't get married before the age of 25. Now I ask you, Tom, why have you been married 4 times?
Well, that's why I know so much.
Failed at 4 times.
Well, dear, that's why I know so much about it. It's because I got married for the first time at 18.
Right, but why would you make that mistake 3 other times?
Well, you're right. It was a mistake. In fact, if you really want the honest truth, I am in a business that requires a lot of time and focus and a lot of attention to detail and traveling and moving all the time. And there's very few women who long-term are willing to put up with that kind of thing.
Right.
The first time I would... Do you want the answer or not?
Go ahead.
I'm not done yet. Did you hear me in the middle of a sentence and then you just interrupted me?
Go ahead.
You asked the question, and now I'm going to answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
My first wife, when I was 18 and she was 22, told me that she understood that I had a career ahead of me and that I was not going to be having any children and that she didn't want to have children either. And then after she married me 2.5 years later, she said, oh, whoops, I changed my mind. So what was I supposed to do? Let her have children? So I didn't. I left. Mm-hmm. Second marriage, I was with somebody who was also in the media business. Mm-hmm. And I had to move to another city to work. And while I was in another city, she went and had fun with somebody else she worked with because we were living in separate cities. Mm-hmm. Third time around, I did something really stupid. I married somebody on the rebound. And I shouldn't have done it. It wasn't fair to her or to me. And in looking back, I think I did it to her, wife number 2. And in the fourth case, it was much more complicated than that. We were together, though, for 10 years, which is longer than most people are married these days. Mm-hmm. So it isn't as simple as you think it is, where you think I'm an a-hole and everybody just says, screw you, I don't want to be with you. It isn't like that at all. But, of course, very easy for you, the hater, to call in and imply that, but it's not the case.
Well, I just think that you're just bitter because your marriages didn't last, and here you're telling all these 20-something-year-olds that, hey, marriage is not the answer.
It's not the answer, and I found that out by being married and divorced 4 times.
But maybe you're discouraging marriage because the woman you're married to, her, obviously, we know who they are, maybe because they were more successful than you were at the time, and you felt like...
None of them are more successful than I am. None of them make more money than I do. None of them have longer contracts than I have. None of them. None of them. In fact, only once in my life have I been with a woman who made more money than I do.
Okay, well, we know one of your ex-wives is on TV.
I'm telling
you...
Why
aren't you on TV?
Dear, being on TV has nothing to do with it. The highest paid TV reporter in Los Angeles makes about 1/4 what I make.
Right, but it has to do with...
It has nothing... where do you get this idea that everybody's goal in life is to be in front of a camera? It was never my goal. Never. Mm-hmm. Never was. Mm-hmm. 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 Why would I want to be in front of the camera? I make so much money here, and I might add, dear.
Maybe because you're attractive, and that's why you're trying to...
Well, dear, that's, again, I know it makes you feel better as an aging chick who's being rejected by men to say these bitter, angry things to me, and I understand that. I really do.
I'm not aging. I'm 25, just got married, happily married.
Yeah, says you.
Best guy in the world.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him.
Oh, by all means.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
He's extremely happy.
Yeah, well, with a gun to his head, I'm sure he has to say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. But...
that's why he doesn't listen to your show.
Oh, he's a pussy.
No, he's not.
That's why he's married to a castrating bitch like yourself.
He doesn't need to listen to a radio station to get advice on how to sleep with a chick.
Well, that's good. Then he shouldn't listen. But you know what? Millions of men do.
Yeah, poor them.
Poor them. Well, yeah. It's certainly to my benefit, I'll tell you that. And you can't stand it, can you? You can't stand how successful I am.
Oh, I can care less. That has nothing to do with it.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't dial in to complain.
Oh, well, because it's my opportunity to...
How would you know it if you weren't listening? How would you know it's your opportunity to call in if you were not listening?
And I happen to catch you on the radio.
How would you happen to do that? How would you... The minute you hear my voice, one syllable, wouldn't you just tune out? I'm so offensive?
Well, in the morning, I'm obviously getting out of work, and in the morning I listen on...
I see. So you have a broken finger and you can't change the station.
I don't get in the car and immediately change the station, no.
I see. So how long does it take for your arthritic hand to reach the radio?
About a minute or so.
A minute. And in that minute, you heard me explain what we're doing this hour, and then picked up the phone, and then dialed in.
Yeah.
It only took a minute.
About.
And how would you know to hate me if you never listen?
Because I see you on TV, I hear all about you.
Boy, oh boy.
My friends used to listen to you.
Sounds to me like you have a lot of baggage there, sweetheart.
I have baggage.
Yes, you do. And clearly, you've been following me for a long time. So for somebody who hates me, as we so often prove on this show, the people who hate me the most are the ones who know the most about me.
I don't know a whole lot about you.
Oh, well then, if you don't know a whole lot about me, how would you know to criticize me?
Because of what I do know.
So either you don't know enough to criticize me, or you know an awful lot. Right?
I don't know an awful lot about you, and I don't.
You don't know an awful lot about anything. Tom Leykis. Maria, hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I've been wanting to talk to you for so many years.
Really?
You know, I kind of like you, but I hate you at the same time.
What does that mean?
Well, there's many things you say about women that really bother me.
They bother you, but are they false?
Yes.
False.
Well, some things you say are true, but like some women trying to get pregnant and get the guy to marry them, and
you don't think there's a lot of that out there, or you do?
Yeah, there's a lot out there, but some women get pregnant by accident.
There are no accidents.
Well, maybe the birth control doesn't work, and the guy should...
You have to take it first. And by the way, there's also a morning after pill.
Well, the guy should be held responsible also.
The guy doesn't have the opportunity to terminate the pregnancy.
Well, he should wear a condom.
I have said that all... have you've been listening all this time? You've never heard me say that?
Yes, I've heard you say that, but you've also talked about the women after the fact, after they've had...
Because the women make the final decision as to whether that child will be born. The man doesn't make that decision.
That's true. I do believe, like, if you're early, if you're pregnant, you find out, it's okay. The first part of the pregnancy to end it.
So that's my point. Women make that decision. Men don't make that decision.
But something else I don't like what you said the other day about if a guy gets a woman pregnant, she has the baby, you don't want nothing to do with that child.
That's right, I don't.
And how do you think the child would feel if the father doesn't want him?
That's not my problem.
Well, you're being selfish.
You know what? Having a baby is selfish, and especially having a baby when the father does not want to be a father. That's selfish, too.
I understand it's the woman's fault and the man's fault, but it's not the baby's fault.
It doesn't matter. The point is, the person who made the decision to have that baby be born is the person who made the selfish, egotistical decision. It's the overarching, overwhelming decision.
You get a point right there, but the man is at fault for not wearing a condom.
Well, first of all, you're assuming he didn't, and he may or may not have worn a condom. Condoms are the least effective form of birth control there is.
Well,
the least effective form. It is much less effective than the pill or the IUD or any number of other forms of birth control.
He made a mistake, but he should be liable for those mistakes.
He is liable. Men have to pay child support, and no one on this program has ever told men to not obey the law. I have told men to obey the law.
Another point I want to stress why I don't like you. You always talk bad about women saying, oh, if they're fat, you should leave them. How about the men that get fat?
No one.
Stuck with them.
You know what? If that's an issue for you, then you should tell the guy you're with that it's an issue for you. I never said that there's a double standard.
Well,
for most women, if a guy makes a good living, they don't care if he gets fat. But if you do, then that's an issue that you should bring up, and you have every right to do the same thing. When have I ever said women don't have the right to do the same thing?
Well, I think men are very selfish, and all they think about is taking advantage of women, especially...
Well, then why would you marry a man?
Well, what can you do? If you want to have kids, you have to marry them.
Yeah, and you could go to be artificially inseminated, fertility drugs. You know what you could do.
But you would like to have a family and have the child raised the right way.
But if you feel that way about men, why did you get married?
Well, not all men are that way.
You certainly seem to be saying they were all that way.
No, not all. Most of them are. Something else that you said that really bothers me. You've been married 4 times.
Yes, and divorced 4 times.
Yes. And you say that you don't recommend men marrying American women.
Yes, that's correct.
And I don't understand. You were married to a Cuban woman once. Yes. You said that on the radio. And an Asian lady, too?
She was not born in Asia.
Was a Cuban born in Cuba?
No.
But she was Cuban.
Her mother was Cuban. She was born in New York City while her mother and father were on a trip.
Oh, well, not all American women are, bad wives who don't want to...
No one said all, but the odds are that they've been tainted by feminism and they've turned into tight-ass bitches.
But it's okay for men to be male chauvinists, but not women to be...
What is a chauvinist? Do you know what that word means?
Men, they want to take advantage of women by going out on dates.
That's the definition of a chauvinist?
Only spending like $40 or less.
Oh, so in other words, you're a high-priced hooker and you think we should spend more.
No.
Why should we should spend nothing to get sex?
If a guy takes me on a date and acts cheap, I would get rid of him.
Well, there you go. Then now we know what you are. We know that it's all a matter of price with you.
No, because it means that he's a very cheap guy.
Well, why does it matter?
About getting his
why should he be giving you anything?
Well, I don't expect him to spend a lot of money, but not like pretend have a salad so I can order something to eat.
You don't know if that's the reason he's having a salad. Maybe he's watching his weight.
Actually,
maybe he's trying to stay healthy.
That's what you suggest for men, not to spend any money.
I do. I suggest they not spend money. And have you noticed how many men call in here and say, Tom, you're right. I did what you said and it worked.
Yeah, well, if a lot of men listen to you, a lot of them, they're going to miss out on a good woman.
No, they're not, because these guys are just, these guys, especially in their early 20s, are looking to get laid. And in fact, most men who are unmarried are looking for sex. That's what guys go on dates for.
That's okay with me if they're under 25, like you said.
But even so, there are men who are over 25 who also don't want to be married, and they're looking for sex, and I tell them how to get it.
Well, they shouldn't be lying to women and,
Women lie to men all the time. They have fake boobs. They have acrylic nails. They have fake... 60% of women dye their hair some other color. Women lie about all kinds. I'm on the pill.
If we won't do that, you would...
Don't worry, I'm on the pill. Don't worry, I can't get pregnant. Women lie all the time.
I want women that look like models. That's why women are all stressed out. The thing about...
Tough luck.
Back to... being thin.
The more money a man makes, the more successful a man is, the hotter, the younger the chick he can afford and therefore deserves to get.
So you expect a woman to be starving, eating lettuce, so she can look good for a man?
Whatever it takes.
Someone who...
She doesn't have to do it. You know what? There's some guy making $30,000 a year who'll be happy to have a chunky chick.
Yeah, but women want men who can, provide for them too.
Well, they may want that, but the fatter they are, the less likely that is going to happen.
That means, so you're saying there's no love? People just go for looks?
You know what? I have always said on this program, number one, water seeks its own level, and men have the hottest chick they can afford, and women have the richest guy they can attract.
So you're agreeing with women being prostitutes, because they're not in love with those men.
I believe that being a housewife is a form of prostitution, yes.
Well, not all women are like that.
Some women aren't attractive enough to be like that. They take whatever they can get.
They want a good husband, a good father.
Well, those women are usually chunky or homely or too short or too something.
How about you? You're not very attractive.
No, I'm not, but I have a seven-figure income. You'd be surprised how attractive women find me making the money I make.
I see you on the internet.
Dear, you're not telling anything anybody doesn't know. Everybody knows I'm homely. I'm a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. That's why I'm on the radio and not on television.
Okay.
I'm the first one to tell you that. But you'd be amazed how much women love the way my bank book looks. And they love my celebrity status. You'd be amazed how much that makes up for.
Well, that's true, because those are the gold diggers, and they don't...
Well, but dear, I don't give the gold to anybody. So I get the benefits of being around chicks like that without ever having to pry loose any of the money.
But you won't hang on to them for long, because they'll...
Who cares? When I'm done, I'm done. Move on to the next victim. Yeah, well, what do you mean? You're telling me I'm going to have a variety of women, that they will be a series of hot chicks, one after another? None of them will stay with me? I'll be sentenced to a life of just banging one hot chick after another? Oh, woe is me!